right, we're back here with set number 3. Welcome, Amy.
Hi, thanks. What an exciting game, too.
Yeah, for sure. It looks like we do have the game feed already here for game number 3. We're using the feed from Turtle Mania's perspective here.
Yeah, very nice.
Say good luck, have fun. Oh, that's in the Twitch chat instead of Discord. Well, good luck, have fun to both Nibs and to Turtle Mania. Super excited to get them matched up here. Again, if y'all want to participate in these Monday Night Friendlies, we host these every Monday night. We're currently doing it at 7 p.m. Central. We're looking at maybe pushing that up a little bit since we moved to 5 sets. But the place to do that is going to be our Discord. So if y'all want to check out the Discord there, you can sign up. The sign-ups go live every Thursday morning at 11 a.m.
Yeah, it's a really fun time where we come together and we just play, not in a tournament kind of setting, but it's a nice way to get your games, to have some commentary. And also, they do go up on YouTube just a short time after the stream. So you'll have it forever, in perpetuity.
Yeah, exactly. So right off the bat here, I'm looking at... Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot to tell them that they're good to go in the Discord. So right off the bat here, we see some really interesting teams.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to talk a little bit about them?
Sure. Turtles got that Naganadel, which we already saw once tonight. Urshifu, Tapu Fini, the most used Pokemon in Series 7. We've got a Mr. Rhyme. Awesome. Can't wait to see what that does. Incineroar and Ice Horse.
Yeah, we got the Ice Horse there. I'm excited to see that. I feel like we haven't seen enough Ice Horse here on the Monday Night Friendlies. So perhaps get to see more of the Ice Horse tonight. Nib's team is incredibly interesting. We see one of his favorite Pokemon in Scizor, alongside that Landorus Therian, the Latias, Urshifu, Tapu Fini, and finally Regieleki.
Yeah, it'll be interesting seeing as how a turtle is kind of rocking that Naganadel as what I'm sure he's using as a major damage dealer, going up against the Scizor, who, is immune to poison type hits. So Turtle won't be able to get those max oozes off against that Scizor, and that's going to be pretty interesting.
Yeah, for sure. It is going to be interesting, very similar to our first matchup of the night, where we're wondering, does this Naganadel have a fire-type move? Because if so, it's incredibly threatening to that Scizor. If it doesn't, then obviously not as much, because it's going to be a resisted hit into it with one of its stabs, and then the other stab is just going to be, like you said, completely immune.
Right. Did we see? We didn't see a fire move on the last Naganadel we saw in set number 1, right?
Yeah, that's correct. I believe it went for just the
Air Slash.
Yes, Sludge Bomb. We might have seen an Air Slash and a Dragon Pulse. Not even like a Draco Meteor, interestingly enough.
I do feel like that might be an anomaly, though. I feel like a lot of the Naganadel that I've seen do run a fire move. I mean, I haven't seen that many, so it's probably a small sample size, but we shall see.
Yeah. We'll see right here, potentially here early. So the leads here, we're going to see from Nibs. Also, Chase pointed out earlier that Nibs is using Tofu Heatran's team. It's a top Japanese team. Even though Scizor's bad, it did get to top 20 on the ladder. So we see Nibs' leader, Regieleki and Latias, while Turtle Mania opts for Mr. Rhyme and that Tapu Fini.
Yeah, what do you think's gonna come out here? I think that often we see Regieleki try to go for some kind of speed control on turn 1 or screens. However, that Mr. Rhyme is likely carrying an ability that it's gonna make those screens go away.
Yeah, for sure. I looking at the Mr. Rhyme, I'm unfamiliar with his other abilities. I do know about Screen Cleaner, which does, upon entry, I think, invalidate screens. So, here opting for a Fake Out on turn 1, and the Mystical Fire will come out here into that Mr. Rhyme, getting only about 50% damage down, but will be dropping the special attack by 1 stage.
It's pretty bulky, and we see the Tapu Fini just go ahead and go for the Dazzling Gleam, which of course isn't going to affect the Regieleki that protected, but it does a lot of damage on that Latias.
Yeah, so now this Mr. Rhyme is in a much more free position, I think, to go ahead and click that Trick Room. Potentially here, being able to either draw the attack into Tapu Fini. I don't believe that the Latias is going to go ahead and get a... Oh, and actually just opting for damage there into Mr. Rhyme, bringing it down to 5 HP here. So depending what this Latias went for, this Trick Room could get up or it could not. One of my other...
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, one of my other favorite things is how slow the Mr. Rhyme starts moving when its HP is so low.
I know. It's so cute. And it looks like the Latias does choose to attack into the Tapu Fini. So if this Mr. Rhyme did click Trick Room, which I think we already saw did, right? That Trick Room is going to go up.
Yep. Living on 5 HP from that Regieleki's Volt Switch here. Now it should be moving likely first based on these Pokemon here. So,
what do you think Turtle's got in the back to start sweeping under Trick Room?
Yeah, I think we're going to be seeing that Ice Horse. Also, David is watching the stream. Thanks so much for the follow. It took me a second to read that one.
Awesome.
Yeah, so the thing is, Nibs does have access here to priority with that Bullet Punch. He can take out Mr. Rhyme before it does anything else, but his Urshifu is obviously incredibly threatened by Tapu Fini in Trick Room now.
Right, and Mr. Rhyme getting knocked out is probably not the worst thing in the world for Turtle, right? Then you get a free switch in into your Trick Room sweeper, and all's right with the world. So Nibs might want to be careful. You might want to leave that Mr. Rhyme on the field for a turn.
Yeah, perhaps going for something like a Protect plus Swords Dance here is one of the best plays, and actually just opting to hard switch out that Urshifu, bringing in the Regieleki again. That's a rough Pokemon to have under.
Interesting. And Nibs goes ahead and Dynamaxes what looks to be that side. This is Nibs, right?
Yep,
this is Nibs side.
Going for the,
okay, yeah. He goes ahead and Dynamaxes that Scizor, so it'll be interesting to see what he's chosen to do, what kind of move he's gone for here.
Yep, so we do see the Mr. Rhyme opt for Protect here, potentially trying to not take a Bullet Punch there, wanting to stay on one more turn, but the Max Steel Spike will be enough to go ahead and pick up the KO onto that Mr. Rhyme, and interestingly enough, the Scizor is actually slower than the Tapu Fini.
Yeah, so it's going to be moving first under Trick Room, and now it's at a +1 defense.
Yep, takes that Dazzling Gleam not as well as I would have expected, considering it's
It is a
hit.
choice specs Tapu Fini, so those can do some damage.
Yeah, for sure. Now this Incineroar is able to come in and go ahead and intimidate down onto this Scizor, bringing its attack stage down by 1, and also threatening 4 times super effective damage with like a Flare Blitz, or even potentially, if you want to get, a little cheekier, you can go for a Max Flare here.
Yeah. It looks like we're going to see the Flare Blitz and then just another, obviously, Dazzling Gleam, because we know what Nibs might not know yet. Nibs probably knows that Tapu Fini is choice spec'd into Dazzling Gleam.
Ooh, that Scizor living on 1 HP here. Gonna go ahead and get some recovery back. Up to about still under 20%, but gonna get a Max Flutterby off here. Which will also have the nice side effect of dropping that Tapu Fini's special attack by 1 stage.
Right, but I do think that the Dazzling Gleam is going to be enough to finish it off here. Let's see.
No,
No,
actually,
it's not quite.
Yeah, now with the -1 stage of attack, really coming in big, that Max Flutterby was a great play.
Yeah, and the Figgy Berry giving it just enough health back to go ahead and live another hit. That's huge.
Yeah, so the real question is here is, I was going to say, what is the Scizor going to do? Because if it goes for the Max Guard, that could be pretty good for it. And Regieleki going for the double protect and getting it.
Yeah, just kind of stalling out those turns of Trick Room. Although we do know now that the Scizor is slower than the Tapu Fini, so maybe just trying to eat away at those turns of Trick Room to kind of get your hit off, knocking out the Tapu Fini in the right turn, so that when Trick Room does expire, that then you're poised to move first.
Yeah, and now that it is Undynamax, it does have access back to its priority moves in Bullet Punch. Again, it is at -1 right now from that Intimidate on the Incineroar, which that is one thing that's going to make it a little bit harder.
So it looks like we're going to see a Dynamax from that Incineroar, which is something that's not unheard of, but it's not that usual to see an Incineroar Dynamax. So I'm here for it.
Yeah, very, very true. I feel like I've done it a few times. A lot of times in Hail matchups, it's a great Dynamax. Just to go ahead and change that weather as well as get super effective damage down. So here the Incineroar on a little bit of Protect as Regieleki goes for the 3rd Protect in a row, I believe, as the Bullet Punch comes out from that.
Not going to do close to enough damage at that -1 attack from the Intimidate, from the Incineroar. And Incineroar does just KO. Nib's going to let the Scizor go down with the Max Flare.
Yeah, for sure. It was something where I don't know that you necessarily needed a Max Flare there. Perhaps if the Regieleki wasn't gonna... I'm not quite sure. Like you could just Flare Blitz. I guess it was trying to predict a potential double Protect, and that's one way to fight through it. You do now have the Sun, and you don't really need that Glacier. You can't reset Trick Room for it in the back. This also does preserve that information of what was the last Pokemon that you brought.
Yeah. I think that's probably what it was about. The Tapu Fini still doesn't go down. Tapu Fini's still fighting. And of course, we know that the Dazzling Gleam that's coming, coupled with whatever move that, it doesn't even need to make a move. But yeah, it looks like Turtle has preserved a lot of information for the next games.
Yeah, so the one thing that was interesting about that play was seeing why did Nibs click Close Combat, and I think that gives us a little bit of information as to his potential set.
Because, you think it's a choice band?
Yeah, I think it's choice band because he knows if he's going to be locked into something, he doesn't want to be locked into Wicked Blow with the potential Glacier in the back. So I think that was really his only play, was hoping that Close Combat would be enough to KO and then potentially dodge around, get another one off on Incineroar. But at that point, you're dropping your defenses so much that it becomes such a challenge that even if you are able to get 2 KOs, you're still going to have to deal with the 2 versus 1 next turn.
What adjustments do you think Nibs needs to make in this game, too, to maybe take this one back?
Yeah, I think he's going to have to prioritize KOing that Mr. Rhyme before it can potentially get up that... get up Trick Room again.
Yeah, it kind of seems like Turtle's game falls apart if Trick Room doesn't go up, right? With the Pokemon that he brought last time, anyway.
Yeah, that Specs Tapu Fini is still putting on a lot of pressure, and it is faster than the Scizor. And Scizor actually doesn't look like a terrible max in this matchup if you can fight around that Incineroar. That's the biggest piece, is maybe bring your own Tapu Fini to threaten that Incineroar. But something that can KO that Mr. Rhyme before it sets Trick Room will really go ahead and kind of shift the overall shape of the match. I think last time, living on 5 HP was huge for Turtle and allowed him to get Trick Room up.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see what these players decide to lead here. It looks like Nibs has decided to go with that Tapu Fini and still lead that Regieleki.
Yep.
And Turtle's... Go ahead.
No, you go for it.
Yeah, Turtle's gone for the Incineroar, maybe expecting that Scizor turn 1 again, and the Mr. Rhyme. So my guess is that a fake-out Trick Room is coming right here on turn 1 from Turtle.
Yeah, for sure. That seems like kind of the best overall play for Turtle in this situation, as there's not really any way for Nibs to stop it and mitigate that, unfortunately for him. Looks like just a double Protect here coming out from Nibs, not wanting to take the fake out, potentially wanting to go ahead and position his Tapu Fini to where next turn around it can start to threaten. Thanks so much for the follow, Lock On Do.
Yeah. Letting that Mr. Rhyme get up the free Trick Room may be okay if Nibs can find a way to stall out these turns before the sweeper can come in. Maybe Nibs is going to kind of play the slow game this time.
Yeah, for sure. Last time around we saw how much he struggled kind of with this Regieleki. I think all it did was click Protect like 3 turns in a row during Trick Room, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
It did get a double, but yeah. The biggest thing that Nibs has to be afraid of here, though, is the freeze dry coming up from that Mr. Rhyme into the top Buffini. That could be doing a lot of damage. Mr. Rhyme not really known for its offensive prowess, and I guess this is one way of trying to mitigate that damage by just Dynamaxing top Buffini here right off the bat. Probably going to be going for a Max Geyser into that Incineroar.
Yeah, I agree. I think you know that Incineroar is the biggest threat to the Scizor that Nibs presumably has in the back. So taking care of that early, well, it's not going to get to because we see the parting shot come out, which does lower the attack and special attack of Tapu Fini. So who is going to eat this Max Geyser? That is the question.
Yeah, really either of these switches should eat a Max Geyser pretty well from a Tapu Fini, especially an opposing Tapu Fini. The biggest problem is you're not really threatening a whole lot of damage with it.
Right,
so.
Especially now at -1 special attack.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean Turtle's not threatening a bunch of damage on the other side? Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, for sure. You potentially could be in a position where you could stall out this Dynamax, reset Trick Room again, or something of the like. So we do see the Max Geyser there into the top of Buffini. At -1, not really doing a whole lot of damage. Perhaps Nibs went for a pin here with something like a Volt Switch into that slot as well. Or just opting for the Thunder. Oh.
And it does target the Mr. Rhyme, which hangs on with 48 HP. Do you think the Tapu Fini on Turtle's side stays in here?
Yeah, I definitely think it does. Knowing that you are going to be slower than that Regieleki, and you can threaten a ton of damage onto it before it can get an attack off. Something like a Dazzling Gleam does so much damage into it, or even something like Moonblast here. Both of them into the Regieleki without any kind of screens up are going to be doing enough damage to just remove it from the field. I think the scariest thing is not attacking it. And leaving it there just to allow like a Thunderbolt. So.
Yeah, and we see Nibs go ahead with the Max Guard, potentially not wanting to take another one of those freeze dries. We do see that the Regieleki hangs on from that Scald in the rain with the Focus Sash.
Yeah, seeing an electric or seeing a water type move go ahead and bring a Regieleki down to Sash just kind of reminds you exactly how weak those defenses and special defenses are for Regieleki. So
all of its stats are in speed. I mean, and special attack.
Yeah, it has a nice base speed. 100. That's not terrible.
Yeah.
But yeah, now this Glacier is free to come in and go ahead and Dynamax. The opposing Tapu Fini is not really putting any pressure on. My guess is it only has Fairy and Water type moves, and it's at -1 special attack. This Mr. Rhyme can also follow on with continuing to freeze dry it, and you're pretty free to just go for some kind of attack into the Regieleki slot, potentially predicting the switch out and going for something else. Yeah, getting the...
Yeah, we see the Landorus switch in.
Yeah, definitely a good switch in here for Nibs. If this went for the Max Quake, if instead it went for a Hailstorm, it's going to be invalidating that Intimidate and getting a +1 from the Chilling Nay boost.
Yeah, and as we noticed too, this Glacier, unlike some, isn't carrying a Steel type move. I think it was carrying Ice, Ground, and Fighting. So I don't know which one it clicked. I didn't notice. Oh, we do see the Hailstorm come out.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of your safest play. You don't necessarily, you're not actually threatened by this opposing Tapu Fini at -1, even with the rain up, and by changing the weather again, you're helping yourself out. You know that the Hailstorm will KO Regieleki if it decides to stay in, and will KO a whole bunch of the rest of Nibs' team if it tries to switch in, whether that be Urshifu or Latias. It should be enough.
Yeah, that's very true, but it looks like Tapu Fini is going to go ahead and change the weather back to the rain by using a Max Geyser, and we see the crit into the Glacier, and that did a lot of damage considering the Tapu Fini is at -1.
Yeah, for sure. Well, the fact that it was a crit will mitigate that -1. That's what I was going to say. That did a lot more when I was looking at it, and I was wondering, how did that do so much? But we do see the critical hit. so that ignores any of the stat boosts or stat drops. It's kind of like one of the most ridiculous things because it ignores your opponent's stat boosts and it ignores your own stat drops, but you still get the benefit of your own stat boosts.
Yeah, it it's an interesting mechanic. Critical hits. I have been made really happy and really sad by them.
Yeah, for sure. So on this last turn of Trick Room here, my guess is we're going to see something like a double protect come out for Nibs, potentially a protect and switch to Regieleki or something like that, wanting to preserve that Urshifu. Well, actually, we won't be seeing a protect from Urshifu. We are pretty sure that it's abandoned Urshifu. So we do see the Sucker Punch here, which actually would have protected the Tapu Fini pretty nicely, and will take out the Mr. Rhyme here. I said here way too many times there. And the Max Quake into the Urshifu, only doing about 50% damage, so Nib's setting himself up pretty well here for the end of Trick Room.
Yeah, and we see Trick Room expire, so now Nib's Pokemon are going to be the fastest things on the field, presumably.
Yeah, he does have to watch out here for the Incineroar going for a Fake Out. So Fake Out plus a max move into Urshifu pretty much guarantees that KO. Potentially would be the best time to pivot back into that Tapu Fini.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's probably what we'll see here.
Yeah,
it'll be interesting to see what the Glass Chair goes for.
Yeah, seeing a couple people say so little damage at +1, and actually that Glacier is going to be, is it at +1 or?
Yeah, I think it's at +1.
I think it's actually, no, it's neutral because it took the Intimidate from the Landorus. And then got back to neutral from the Intimidate. So that's why it's doing kind of so little damage. What we thought was +1, it's actually just at neutral there. So yeah. Now the Tapu Fini does come back in to take this Fake Out into more than likely Max Quake or Max, potentially a Max Knuckle. Hey, Asthmatic96, thanks for the follow.
We see another critical hit from that Regieleki into the Incineroar. And we see the Max Hailstorm from the Glass Chair, and that's going to be enough to finish off the Tapu Fini. I think it got it. And that's going to give it another attack boost.
Yep, for sure. So now it's going to be a +1. So, hey, thanks for the follow, Exia OOSF. I'm sure I said that wrong, and I'm sorry. Yeah, the Regieleki does go down to Hail here because of that weather change from the Focus Sash earlier, and now it's going to be a position where Nibs is in a 2v1 with this Urshifu. It's going to be tough. Like, I think you have to go for the KO on the Glacier here. It's the real threat, and you know that a close combat KOs. The real question is...
I think so.
Yeah, the real question is, can you live a Flare Blitz from this Incineroar at this point? You have decent defense. So, let's see here. We do get 1 KO into the Glacier. And the feed has died.
Oh, no. No,
yeah,
what
tragic.
I have to know.
I'm unsure if this looks like it might be on my end. Or it might be on Turtles. Incineroar killed with Flare Blitz. Turtle Mania 1-2-0. Okay. Looks like we're
having that makes sense.
Yeah, it looks like that Urshifu is just a little too low to be able to overcome that. So.
And then with the defense drops from close combat.
Oh yeah, exactly. So yeah, -1 defense. I don't think it's gonna live that. We see Rollercoaster doubting the story, a likely story coming out. But yeah, that is the Ice Horse Frozen. Nibs being excited. So ended his stream early because the delay. That makes sense. Okay, yeah. So we forgot that. Yeah, so our trainers are able to go ahead and stream to our server with delay on, so that lets them, so that they're not revealing moves as they're doing them. But yeah, when you end your stream with delay, if you end it immediately, we don't get to see the last
now we'll
whatever.
Never know, Turtle.
Yep. Yeah, for sure.
We'll
so
never know what happened.
Really well played by both players. Nibs clawing back there through the Trick Room. In a very deadly Trick Room team. We unfortunately didn't get to see the Naganadel here in this second matchup, but we did get to see Glacier, the Ice Horse going for a bunch of big attacks, and we saw kind of what Mr. Rhyme did. I think you and I were both questioning what is this going to do in this matchup.
Yep. and it did the thing. It set up the trick room, and I think Turtle got to play the pace that he wanted to play.
Yeah, for sure. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and remind everyone, if you want to sign up for these ATX VGC Monday Night Friendlies, sign-ups go live every Thursday morning in our Discord, and y'all should come join and hang out. You don't have to be from Austin, Texas to be a member of the ATX VGC community. We are a VGC community. We're based originally coming out of locals, but now in these times, what isn't online? Even local is online, right? And you can be a part of any local scene you want, right? So go ahead and join our Discord. Keep an eye out for the signups every week, and we'll continue to post these replays to YouTube every within a week or two of them going up. I'm a little bit behind on that editing. I apologize, but we'll be getting them back up really shortly.